Good evening, everyone. Molweni, goeienaand en baie welkom. In the interest of effective communication, I will be speaking mainly in English tonight, but I will repeat key concepts in Afrikaans for emphasis. It's so great to see all of you here tonight. You look splendid, all you in your Marty t-shirts all around the ground, over there and everywhere. It's a sea of maroon. And thank you for everyone who has made this initiative possible, especially the sponsors Steinhoff for their continued support. So to our first years, there's significant symbolic meaning in your Marty t-shirt. And I would like you to know that the rector sponsored a good deal of this. So just as we all have the same color blood flowing in our veins as human beings, so we are all maroon as Marties. Whether we are black or white, English or Afrikaans or isiXhosa, urban or rural, rich or poor, a South African or an international student or staff member, we are all members of the Stellenbosch University community. We all bleed maroon. And we strive to be inclusive. So what does that mean? It means that we respect each other, we appreciate each other regardless of our differences. In fact, we celebrate our diversity because it makes us stronger. And we treat everybody with dignity, irrespective of skin color or language or gender or sexual orientation or religious beliefs or political views. En dit is wat ons bedoel as ons sê dat ons 'n inklusiewe universiteit is. Want hier is almal welkom. Wamkelekile. Welcome to all. Our vision of inclusivity is reflected in your Marty t-shirt. You might be in a specific residence or PSO or cluster, but first and foremost, you are all now members of the Stellenbosch University family. Maar wat beteken dit? Waarvoor staan hierdie universiteit? So the 5 values of Stellenbosch University are printed on the back of your t-shirt. So kyk sommer op die rugkant van die persoon wat voor jou sit, se T-hemp vir ons 5 waardes. En die eerste een waarop ek wil fokus is empathie. Empathy. And this is about putting yourself in someone else's position, in their shoes, in their skin, to understand where they are coming from. And this is even more important in the current so-called post-truth era. Social media have made it easier than ever before to share information and express opinions. And this could either be good or bad, very bad, if it's not managed carefully. Folks, you are embarking on the greatest journey of your life, becoming a critical thinker. And that's what a university education is all about. Not memorizing a bunch of facts, but learning how to think and learning to think critically. However, don't confuse this with being critical just for the sake of it. Yes, examine all things and interrogate everything, but always keep an open mind, always remain open to persuasion. We certainly live in interesting times. So like the wind is blowing here tonight, the winds of change are blowing through society and sometimes at gale force. And this has certainly been very noticeable in the higher education sector. The past 2 years, we have seen student protests on university campuses nationwide, including here. Now, as citizens, students certainly have the right to lawful and peaceful protest. But such protest should respect the rights of others, and neither academic nor administrative activities should be disrupted. We have a responsibility to protect our institution and its people, property, and activities, because this university is a national asset. Ons verseker erken ons die reg van studente om te protesteer, want dit is 'n geleentheid om uit ons gemaksones te kom en ernstig met mekaar te praat oor moeilike kwessies. Maar aktivisme mag nie ander studente se reg om te kan studeer en hulle vryhede aantas nie, of eiendom beskadig nie, of ander se veiligheid bedreig nie. Want dit bring my by die volgende waarde waarop ek wil fokus. Mede-verantwoordbaarheid, or shared accountability. So empathy and shared accountability. All of us are responsible for our own actions, yes, but at the same time, we should be accountable to each other, because that's what makes a society work. So jou medestudent is jou maat en is ook jou vernoot. En saam neem ons verantwoordelikheid vir ons universiteit, ons dorp, ons land, ons vasteland, ons planeet. And talking about the planet and the environment and protecting the environment, as you know, there is a serious water shortage in the Western Cape. And in this water-scarce region of ours, the dams are running empty. But I want to assure you that Stellenbosch University has a range of sustainable water-saving initiatives in place. For instance, we plant indigenous plants that don't need a lot of water in our gardens, and we irrigate them using non-potable water. Also, all over campus, we are installing water-saving shower heads and toilets. But it's not only the institution's responsibility to save water. Shared accountability means it's up to all of us to use water wisely. So please, do your bit. And remember, when it comes to waste, practice the 3 R's. Not the traditional reading, writing, and arithmetic, but reduce, reuse, and recycle. So, now let me quickly tell you a story to illustrate the next value, excellence. So empathy, shared accountability, excellence. And it's the story of Yvonne Dium, who was born in a small town in the Eastern Cape 24 years ago. When she was still an infant, her parents came to Stellenbosch to work at Murati Wine Estate as general farm workers. And they made sure she went to school, and they supported her in pursuing her dream of becoming a doctor. And in 2009, Yvonne matriculated from Cluttersville High School here in town. But her results were not good enough to gain admission to medical school. But she didn't give up. She came to Marty's, she enrolled in Schematis, or Sci Math University Stellenbosch. And this is a year-long bridging program to help matriculants improve their marks in science and mathematics. And that she did. At the end of the year, she qualified to study medicine at Marty's, and 6 years later, at the beginning of December last year, she received her degree, and she is now Dr. Yvonne Dium. And we are very proud of her. We are very proud of her. Also, as we are very proud of each and every one of the 5,395 Martys who graduated last month. Because what I'm talking about is the transformative power of education in action. It changes lives. And there's no doubt you've come to the right place for your life-changing experience. Because let me give you some key stats about the excellence that we strive for. The success rate of students at Stellenbosch University is consistently around 84–85%, and that's a full 10% above the average performance that students at other universities across the country. And our retention rate is even better, 17% above average. Last year, 87% of Stellenbosch students who registered for the first time in 2016 passed and will this year start their second year. Compare that to the national average of 70%. So 17% above the national average. So how do we achieve that? And I think you've sensed some of that today and in the preceding months with your application process, because these achievements start with student support. Now, it is so that universities the world over have become supportive places because they want their students to be successful. But I must say, in Stellenbosch, in South Africa, Stellenbosch takes the lead in having a very strongly supportive and developmental approach to student success. And the best way to describe it is in terms of an ecosystem of support. It's an integrated arrangement with everyone working together, students and staff, student leaders and professors, house committees and administration, cluster conveners and management. And like we see here today, our academics, deans and students are aligned and share the responsibility for a successful academic and social environment. Our learning and teaching model is one of the most advanced, engaged, and personalized in the country, and our professors are among the most productive on the continent. All of which produces the kind of high-caliber graduates that our country and our continent need so dearly. So, little wonder then that the employment rate of Stellenbosch graduates is so high. The Czech Graduation Destination Survey on the 2010 graduate cohort found that the employment rate for Stellenbosch University graduates in 2012 was 94%. So clearly, a degree from Stellenbosch opens the door to employment for the vast, vast majority of our graduates. And we certainly hope that you will be among them in a few years' time. But what we expect of you is that you take your academic, personal, and social life at Marties very seriously. That you bring agency and initiative to your time here. Motivation and focus on your academic purpose, and active participation in the many opportunities for living out your other passions, whether cultural or sporting or both. We want to ensure that you develop into a responsible and responsive graduate who will contribute towards making the world a better place. And that's why the next of our values is leadership in service of others. Empathy, shared accountability, excellence, leadership in service of others. And just by virtue of being here, all of you are leaders. You have excelled it thus far to get to university, and at Stellenbosch, you will get every opportunity to further develop your leadership abilities. Wanneer jy oor 'n paar jaar gradueer, gaan jy toegerus wees om 'n leiersrol in die samelewing te speel. En onthou, Marties lei met nederigheid, met verantwoordelikheid en met begrip vir ander mense. Our fifth and final value is innovation. Excellence, shared accountability, empathy, shared leadership, leadership in service of others, and innovation. It means that we think and act in new and different ways. And as a 21st century institution, we must make better choices and decisions, not only for ourselves, but for each other and society in general. So listen up, folks. I am proud to announce a brand new initiative which we will be piloting this year. We will be rolling out cutting-edge live video streaming and recording in some of our modules. Now, I want to emphasize, before you get too excited and think that you don't have to go to class anymore, that you can just follow lectures live on your laptop or tablet or smartphone, remember, it's still a pilot. It has limited scope, but it will apply to a good number of modules, and we want you to be part of this innovation, because if you happen to be in one of those classes that form part of this pilot, please use this facility, use it responsibly, but because we also need your feedback in determining its success. So ons maak staat op julle vir innovasie. Julle is die nuwe generasie. Julle is die nuwe generasie maties en julle moet ons help nuut en vars dink en doen. En hierdie regstreekse aanlyn video uitsendings en opnames waarmee ons vir jaar op 'n proefgrondslag begin, is deel van 'n breë strategie van die universiteit om tegnologie sinvol in leer- en onderrigaktiwiteite te integreer. Because overall, like you, this university is on a journey. If you look at the front of your t-shirt, you will see a depiction of Maties as a world-class university firmly rooted in Africa. That's the future we desire, to be a leading higher education institution with local relevance, regional impact, and global competitiveness. A new African university, a new South African university. Exactly what that will entail is an open question. But you get the opportunity now to help us look for answers. Om die toekoms te help bepaal, nie net jou eie toekoms nie, maar ook die toekoms van hierdie ou universiteit, wat volgende jaar in 2018 sy eeufees vier. Dis 'n historiese geleentheid. Maak die meeste daarvan. Please make the most of this wonderful opportunity. So welcome again, and we look forward to sharing this exciting journey with you. Thank you.